Hey y'all, thank you for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. This is part 4 of my photography room project. And if you've been watching any of my previous episodes, you know that I typically begin with a little recap of what we did in the last show, just to help set the stage for what we're going to do today. And for this episode, there's no difference. However, I have asked a special guest host, if you will, to join me at the workbench to kind of help kick things off. This is a guy that I've known all my life who happened to be in town. So I thought, hey, why don't you come on my little show here and help me recap? Thought it'd be neat. And he said yes. So with that, come on in here. Yeah, grab a seat. Dang, man. What? It's not bad. Thanks. You burned the other one? Yes. Anyway, so, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing? Good to see you.
I bet.
Yeah.
Why don't you kick things off? Again, just to recap, you can go back to doing whatever it is you were doing beforehand.
Got it.
In the last episode, I went ahead and got the Murphy bed installed, up and out of the way. I then started working on that corner cabinet, but took a little detour to go through the process of installing the dado blade set on the table saw. I thought that might be of interest. So that's where I ended. And then in this episode, you went ahead and finished that corner cabinet, installed the Lazy Susan, and then went ahead and started working on the base cabinets that contain the drawers. And looks like you kind of got the drawers done. So yeah, that's what this episode is going to be about for you. Good job. Is that your water? Of course. Can I have some? Sure. Lovely. Yeah. So, are we done? Yes, we are. Great. I'm hungry. Get something to eat. If I were you, I'd keep my hands off that chicken salad. What was that? Nothing. I tell you, I love the guy, but I'm glad he's history. And that's over with. Okay, I want to cut about a ½ inch deep, so it's just, that's good. And right at the edge. So I put this piece of wood on to protect my fence. Helps to turn the saw on. Works better that way. Okay, now let me shape, cut off, again, the front and the back on the top and bottom of these pieces. So I have now marked up all the sides, or at least these 4 sides of that corner cabinet. I've gone ahead and drilled a hole down the center there about of where I want to place the Lazy Susan on both pieces, so that's marked. So now what I have to do is start cutting some domino slots in these pieces, again, so I can assemble the cabinet and then put in the Lazy Susan. Okay, so let's cut all the mortises. So now let's sort of dry fit this thing together to make sure it all works before I make it permanent. Like this. Here we go. And here is crap. Oh well. That's in the back, you're not gonna see it. Got a glue drop on my little table here that caused the corner of the plywood to delaminate. But anyway, here it is. And then, where's the, Lazy Susan will go in here. Jesus. Okay, so here is the cabinet, at least the back of the cabinet. So now, I have to figure out how to put in a Lazy Susan. I'll do this off camera. Just reading instructions. Okay, here is the Lazy Susan installed. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to work on now is that first bank of drawers that you see when you walk to the room on the left. You walk directly into the room. Just finished that corner cabinet, so now I'm going to work on that bank of drawers, so that base cabinet of drawers. And here is, again, the design layout for that. It's these right here. And in that base cabinet, there's a 6, 9, and 12 inch drawer. And the drawer slides I have for that are all 12 inches deep. So I've gone ahead and cut the components here, the plywood components to make up the carcass. And I'm using pre-finished for the two inside sides. And what I mean by that is that given how I'm going to construct the carcass and given the dimensions of the face frame that I'm going to use to trim out this carcass, I'm actually going to double up the outside face. That would be this face right here, both to hide the screws and also to get the thickness I need for the face frame. But the inside sides are going to be pre-finished. This is the bottom. This is the back piece. It's not going to cover the whole back, but it'll be plenty enough for strength and to prevent racking. And similarly, these two pieces will go across the top of the cabinet, and I'll use this to attach the countertop. So what I'm going to do now, I have the dado blade in my table saw. I'm actually going to use dominoes on the top and bottom sections of this carcass to attach those components. But I'm going to rabbet the back to then slide this back in and glue and attach it with screws. So that's the plan. So the first thing I'm going to do now is rabbet the back. And it doesn't really matter what side I use. I always think, I guess, if anyone ever takes these drawers out when I'm gone and looks on the inside, this is the side I would want them to see versus this. And in terms of front and back, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to rabbet along this edge here in the thickness of the back. And then in terms of this direction, in about a 1/2 inch high. I've set the dado blade for about a 1/2 inch high. So let me do that. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and marked up the components of the carcass in a way that makes sense to me. Now what I'm going to do is mark, and this is the left side, okay, the cabinet right here, which means this will go here. That's number 1. And I'm going to cut 2 dominoes. Let's see, right there and there roughly. This is the front piece. I want this flush, so that's important that goes there and about there. I'll use screws on the outside to clamp it. And now let me go ahead and assemble the cabinet using my 8x40 dominoes. Okay, one cabinet down. And now what I'm going to do is start laying out the drawers for this. I'm going to go ahead and make the drawers for this, each one, since the drawer width is different for each of the drawer cabinets. I don't want to wait and do them all at once. I might get something confused and screw it up, so do the drawers for this one, then do the other one when I get to another side of the bed. All right, now I'm about to cut the dovetails for the first drawer. And since there are going to be 6 drawers in this set, the 2 different bays, I'm using my lay jig instead of trying to cut them by hand. And I'm going to start with the 6-inch drawer. Again, there's a 6, 9, and 12-inch drawer in each bay. I'm starting with the 6-inch drawer. I've gone ahead and cut all the pieces, the sides and the fronts of the boards, and marked them out. In fact, I've gone ahead, done the setup with scrap, so I know now that the settings are right for the through dovetails for these drawers. And the wood I'm using is poplar, and I've milled it down to 5/8 inch thick. And again, I've already gone through the process of setting up, let's see here, the jig to cut the dovetails. This is just scrap. So now what I have to do is go ahead and start cutting the first drawer. All right, so now I am going to cut some grooves along the bottom inside of each of the drawer sides to accept some 1/4-inch pre-finished maple. I have plenty of this left over from other projects. I'm going to use this for the drawer bottoms. All right, now that I have all of the drawer components cut, not the false fronts, but all the drawer sides cut, the drawer bottoms cut. Now I'm going to start gluing up the drawers for that first bank of cabinets when you first walk into the room. When I get these all glued up, I'll set them aside, and then I'll start working on the other bank of drawers on the right side of the bed and do the same thing I did here. So we start gluing them up. All right, so I have completed all of the drawers for the project. I've made the cabinets where the drawers will be installed. I, of course, finished the corner cabinet with the Lazy Susan. So the next part of the project will be, I'm gonna have to sand these drawers down, trim out the cabinets where they're gonna be installed so I can fit the false fronts on there the right size. I need to actually install the drawer slides. Here they are. They're all gonna be 12 inches deep. Kind of nice, gonna be soft close undermount. Those will be nice. Doorknobs, obviously. And then I need to go up and start cutting up the carpet where I'm gonna put down the base or the platform that the drawer cabinets will be installed onto. Then there's one other base cabinet I need to measure and make. Once I get the corner cabinet and the drawers installed, I'll confirm the width of that cabinet and make that. That'll just be a box. And then I can start installing the base cabinets. After that, the countertops go on, and then the upper shelf units. So getting there, getting close. But anyway, I hope you're finding this useful. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel so you get notifications of future content. And to be continued, stay tuned. Bye now.
I found myself a situation full of woe and complication. It's got me running in my dreams, got me driving and I can't sleep.